Hello and welcome back to Talking Your Walk. I have an amazing guest today. And when I was reading up on Jean-Marc Degioanni, and I know that I'm not pronouncing that properly, but I just want to speak to this man about his achievements because he's such an inspiration for anybody who's maybe thinking of changing their lifestyle or looking for ways for help in changing their lifestyle. I think you'll find that what he does is really extremely helpful for you. So hello, good afternoon, and thank you for joining me. You were born in France?
Yes, correct, yeah.
Yeah. And how was that growing up as a child? Because I see that you made a promise to yourself at 4 years old because you had an injection and had some problems or reactions to that injection. Am I right?
Well, I decided when I was 4 years old, I don't want any chemical in my body.
Okay.
Because it was not resonating with me.
And at such a young age, isn't it? It's a really young age to make such a decision as that. How could you keep to that when growing up, especially in European countries, you are expected to be vaccinated, you are expected to, conform to government rules and regulations. How did you overcome that?
Well, I haven't been able to escape vaccination because that was part of the lot, right? It gave me a lot of grief, right? And but it's the same. I decided at the time where I had all this pain in my knee and spine and all that, which I know nature. I brought up into nature and by nature, so I knew the remedy was there, and I had to find it, and I found it.
Yeah, and that must have been an extraordinary moment for yourself, realizing that nature helped you in dealing with the pain. I read that you had a rheumatic pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that didn't stop you, because I was fascinated. Not only did you work for your family's construction business, but you went on to be a mountaineer, a mountain leader.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I mean, that in itself is an achievement when you've suffered such a lot of pain, when you've been a young person, reacting to the effects of a virus. So, when you were doing the mountaineering and that, because you were brought up in the French Alps, which is an absolutely beautiful place, absolutely stunning. Were you always interested in the more? I know you're saying you're a qualified naturopath, but were you also interested in other holistic remedies at that period of time in your life, or did you get into that when you were younger?
Well, it was normal, because it was something called normal, because in the village, everybody was working and living according to nature. So it was always somebody was doing healing or was doing herbs. So my grandmother was doing some herbs. So it was a bit normal. We first to go to nature before we go to the GP. And the GP was an incredible doctor. He was first privileging. Sometimes he used to arrive with chocolate or orange, or something. He said that's what you need more than anything else. And so that was a sort of a medical I was interested on, right? And it led my life really, because I noticed what he was giving me as a complete natural product, because he knew he cannot give me anything else because I don't want it. I was not going to take it. So what you are giving me, it was coming from nature. So I accept that, and that I grow up with it, and I work for my health all the time.
I think that's very important, isn't it, for people to realise that, you know, good health is a result of you helping yourself every day, basically, either through nutrition, because you're a qualified nutritionist as well.
Yeah, nutritionist and naturopath. I study homeopathy. I study phytotherapy, the plant, right? I study many things. I study also the digestive immunity, about viruses and bacteria, gut problem, all this SIBO and ABS and all this thing, because that is part of my curiosity, and I want to learn. Every time I'm learning something, it's because I need to solve a problem of my patient. So I've already been digging and searching for the truth and searching for the right information, connected with the right people. Got a lot of friends, doctor and professor in the medical system. It's not a way. It's not a place where you can play on your own. You need to have backup. You need to have more people with more information, people with more, I would say, got more space in the brain or more brain than you have. So, you know, it's very much about a challenge all the time. And I love that. I love this. And I really do something which I love to bit, because that's always what I did during my life. I always done, and I always did things which I really like. If I don't like it, I stop and move to something else. So I'll never be stuck in something, in a situation where I'm not comfortable, because life is about enjoying ourselves, doing what we love to do, and loving the people we're working with. And if not, we cannot be in this place.
I think that's very important, because, you know, I do know through research that, you know, the majority of people who become ill do so because, you know, primarily they're either not eating well, or they're stressed, or they're unhappy with certain aspects of their life and scared to make that change, or to, you know, to take that first step into changing their lives. They tend to stay with what they see as the normal rather than, you know, going ahead. So you have a website, infinityalignment.com. It's infinity-alignment.com, and you have a lot of therapies on there, including iridology as well. You didn't mention that you did that, and I've always found that a fascination. I had a fascination with that, because that's such an incredible therapy as well.
It is amazing. It's an amazing therapy. Amazing therapy, which he asks, again, he asks a lot work and a lot digging. So I use sporadically, not all the time, no. I use mainly, I like to have a foundation work, so I use the gas detect, which is, it show what's through the gas, what you're breathing. It show the quality of your gut, and where the problem, where the fermentation problem, right? What that cause and all that. So it's also a very pioneer sort of therapy, right? But it's necessary. By the day we are living, a lot of people are suffering of gut problem. It's there all the time, you know. If you're not destroyed by food, you will be destroyed by stress, by, you know, lack of exercise. So we always there, the first thing we have to look it into the gut.
Yeah, and you know, environment as well causes a lot of problems associated with the gut, and including the quality of the air, the quality of the water, all of those things that you would take into consideration. You've also put together the you have a machine, don't you? Do you use a machine as well as part of the therapies that you do?
Yeah, for it's a monitor for the gas. It's a gas detect monitor where the person is blow into the balloon and you connect to this machine. And this machine, there's a pump which is pumping the air which is contained in the balloon, the gas, and analyzing the gas. And according to the specific gas, so we're working with 5 gases. So according to these specific gases, that give you which bacteria is populating or overpopulating your system, and so it's fascinating. It's very yeah, and it gives you the base. It's not invasive, right? So it really gives you the base for your consultation, and it's good because after 4 or 5 months, you do another gas test, and the people saw already the evolution because the gas, the fermentation go down because the nutrition has been changing. So we are very much about guided for the nutrition, guided according to the gas we are having there, we are to deal with. It's not really, it's not really saying you have to eat that, you have to eat that. It's according to the gas. There's a lot of fermentation. We have to drop this fermentation down. And by dropping the fermentation down, you gain in muscle, you gain in bone mass, you're losing some fat, right? But because you have to eat better, you have to exercise, because we're living in a world of convenience, right? So there's no lot of exercise. People are sitting on a chair. From this chair, they're on a wheel, so they reach this cable, this file, that and that. They go home, they are tired, nervously, you know, it's stress, tiredness. So they're eating, they're drinking, more or less. They go to bed, and you know, there's no space for exercise. So we need to exercise. It's not running a marathon, right? But we need to walk, learn to be in contact with nature, you know, learn to be present, and loving ourselves is very important. And something which is highly important in life is to have aim. If you don't have aim, if you don't have a goal, you cannot fulfill what you want to, what you love to do. It's impossible.
I think, you know, that's very important to have an aim and a goal, because a lot of people just seem to go along with life and never really fulfill their potential, simply because they don't set themselves an aim or a goal. They just carry on the way that maybe their fathers did, or their mothers did, or their peers do. So I think that's really good advice. I think you're really right there in saying about the aim and the goal. So if I was a client or a potential client and I looked on your website, you know, how long would it take for me to come and see you? You know, is that quite a, you know, are you like booked weeks in advance, or can you do it online now? Are you doing anything online?
So what the time frame, it's all depend. I'm always busy, right? I haven't stopped since August last year. Only take a 6-day holiday in Cornwall, beautiful country, beautiful area with discovery. I was really admiring what I was seeing, right? Really beautiful. And so really, yeah, I'm very busy. A week, normally I can fit people in a week time or sometimes in 2 weeks. Right? It all depends. I do a lot. I like the consultation one-to-one because I like to have to listen the person. So I'm listening. I keep quiet because I want the person to. My consultation, then they always last around 3 or 4 hours sometimes, because I like to have the person to relax, because if the person at the end of the day will give you the treatment. It's so it's very important to see when the person he arrives, the way the person is sitting, the way the person is dressed, the way the person is talking, the tune of the voice, because that's what to give you the treatment. That it's an important thing to see, you know, because with that you're missing everything, the personal contact. I do some support. I did a lot of support during the lockdown and a lot of support on Skype, right? And also reorganize the treatment, because when the person you contact me for consultation and they send the consultation form, fill the consultation and send it to me, that's where the consultation starts with me. Soon I look the file, and it's a very important consultation form, because the way I design it, I can see what is carrying on behind the scene. If there's inflammatory, if there's some viruses at the back of that. And the consultation with gas detect, it's 4 hours, because you have to respect an hour and a half after you get a bit of food or you drink some glucose or lactose. You need to respect the 1.5 to 2 hours in between before you do another test, because you don't do test, right? So it takes time, but in between you do the nutrition. So when the person is living, he got what is happening in the system. He got what really is about the nutrition the person need to follow, right? And it's also, they got also the protocol, the product. They got the herbs, they got mushroom. I'm working a lot with mushroom. I love that. So it's very much concise consultation. You can only do 2 or 3 people a day because it takes a long time, right? And I don't like to be pressed in my consultation. I like to have the time with the client. It's it benefits for both of us, right? And the consultation carry on. The consultation carry on how much the person wants the consultation to carry on, because I'm offering also free of charge answer to email, answer to the phone call, because when you're going through some I would say health experience, right? Because we are not healing the illness, it's the illness healing us, right? Because we need to understand why we are here. So it's an experience. So I offer the following, because if you don't have a follow-up, it's the person finds herself on her own with different symptoms, different, I would say, different way of eating, different way, products are different. It's a new therapy, right? So you need to be there for the person. You cannot let the person go and hoping for the best. So my patient always phone me. If I'm too busy, I will phone later, but always come back to the person. I take a time, and sometimes I work until 1 o'clock in the morning to answer all my email or to do some research. So it's an accompaniment. It's not just you arrive for the consultation, you take that and that and that without knowing why you're taking that, and there's no education. And it's important to educate your patient on a way you know why you're taking that and what is happening and why we are to eat, for the example, unpasteurized cheese instead of a pasteurized cheese or something like that. Why we have to do this one. Nutrition is very subtle, it's very important. So person when they're going through illness, it can be cancer, it can be arthritis, it can be diabetic, they need to be under the scrutiny of the medical system, right? But they also need to be, when they come to see us as the natural therapist, naturopath or homeopath, they need to be supported, doesn't matter which medical they're going through, but we have to be able to support them for side effect, for the moral, for the I would say the stress, that anxiety, all these things they're going through. So we need to be there. They know they got somebody which they can speak, they can be reassured, they can be empowered, because that's I don't like to see patients coming every 5 minutes to see me. I like to have a new patient, but I like to follow the patient, but I like to empower them. My patients are not a hole in a wall. They're not, for me, they're not a bank account. They are precious, and I need to help them to get better. And to help them to get better, they need to be empowered. And to be empowered, that means they need to take they need to be the artisan of their health. If not, it's not necessary.
I think that's quite a beautiful way of helping someone to be the best version of themselves. As you say, you're supporting people through an illness, or you're working alongside, conventional medicine to help someone, gain optimum health. How long does a patient stay with you? I suppose that depends on the illness, I would imagine. But how long? Because I read your testimonials on your website, and you've got some fantastic testimonials from all over the world on what you do. So how long does someone stay with you normally?
What do you mean?
As a patient, would they be with you for, say, 5 sessions or 10 sessions or 6 months or a year, or does it just depend? Everybody's an individual and it could be different.
I rarely book people for another session when they're leaving, because I notice people, when you give them another session, another date for a session, they're going to stress themselves to do everything that they can for when they come back the next session to be really sparkling and good and awesome. And if they cannot achieve that because they think I'm going to judge them, I never judge anybody.
Yeah.
I never blame anybody because it doesn't make sense, right? So people, they can come to see me, and sometimes they come back 4 or 5 years later, and sometimes, and it's fine for me. My door is open. They come back when they want. If they want coming once a week, they can come once a week. Only sometimes I need to do a follow-up, because so say if they want to carry on in 4 months' time, they know we have to redo the gas, or in a month's time we need to do another test. That is how far I'm booking people. I don't like booking people for many sessions. It doesn't make sense to me. It has to be the person is in power, and she has to decide for herself when she can come to see me, when she can make an appointment. And she had to find the benefit of it. If she don't find any benefit, it's no point for me to come to see me, because both of us, we're going to waste our time and waste our money. It doesn't make sense.
No, it's a good point.
I like the freedom. I like the freedom. I like to, and I respect the freedom. I will never accept anybody who invite my freedom and my happiness. So I respect that also. I do everything I can for them to be empowered, to be free, and to grow. Everybody has to grow.
And do you teach your method to other people? Do you take on students?
I take a student for infinity alignment.
Yeah, yeah.
That's I'm proud to say it's something I received. It took me many years to understand and to put something together, but I'm teaching this technique, and I'm also very I really love to say, this technique is born in Slovenia, despite I received here in England, but is born in Slovenia. Because Slovenia gave me the platform to teach and to learn about my technique, and to learn about how this thing work, how this new technology work, right? So I got a lot of student, friend, dear friend. They're not students, they are dear friend to me in Slovenia. I got also, I'm growing here in England, and my aim is really to spread the word in the world, because it's such a beautiful technique. It's not because I'm a naturopath, because I study homeopathy, I study virology, I study all these things, and I got the beauty also to move into the esoteric world, working with chakras, due to my clairvoyance, so I can work with the aura, chakras, subtle body. I work with a house, because that also, the house, the land, nature, it's part of the human beauty. The magnificent human, you can only find it in nature.
No, I totally agree. So but you say you teach this now. So is that classes that you run in London or other parts of the UK? And is that physical classes that people come to, or do you teach it online, or part of it online, part of it physical? How if I was interested in learning, the infinity alignment method, how do I go about that?
I'm very much one-to-one person.
Okay.
I love the human contact. This technique, it's very much about, it's a healing technique. And if you want giving a good healing, right, session, you need to have the contact, the human contact. I'm not online person teaching online. It's something I'm resisting. I would love to know more about it, right? And I'm lucky because my daughter, she's very much on my side, and obviously she's only 17 now, but she brings a lot to me, right? She's my partner on this development. She's the one designed partly the website, so she's a good brain there. It's very good English too, necessary. But I like to, because I want this technique to be teach and to be used and practiced properly. It's a beautiful technique. It's very powerful, and I want the people to practice between themselves. And the world, it's a practice and practice and practice. It's also very important because what I do during the course of during the courses, I always invite that's my goal. I invite on a Sunday some people with a completely outside the group, outside the student, for them to be a real case study for my student. So it's not only jumping on a person doing the healing. It doesn't work like that. It's much deeper. We need to understand what the person is suffering of, what is the lifestyle, what is happening in this environment, connected with the house, connected with the land, connected with the ancestor, connected with the zodiac sign, connected with the planet, connected with the ray of light, connected with the virus, connected with the entities and all this world, miasm and all. So it's a big world. What I'm teaching is big, right? And I always bring also some naturopathy in, some nutrition, some protocol which I give to students for them or for their loved one or for their animal, you know. So it's something you need to be there. You need to be alive to have all these people around the table, because I always say to my student, we are all students. I'm just receiving the information, I'm passing, but what I want to learn this technique. I want to learn how this technique works. And it's by seeing the student using the technique, you're learning how you're going along. Be on Zoom, be on online, you are outside the group. And for me, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm here to pass a message. I got a message I had to pass along, and I don't want anything to stay with me. I want to pass along, and I want to be around the people. I want to exchange. I want to hug. Who's going to say no to a hug?
I know.
I'm not going to say no to a hug. Doesn't matter what is happening. I love, human contact is something you cannot suppress.
Yeah, I think that's one of the sad things about this virus at the moment for a lot of people, is that they feel they cannot hug people. I think that's quite awful at the moment. So if a student comes to you to learn, how long does that take? Are we talking about months, years?
Well,
Just to learn what you're teaching, or is it an ongoing thing?
Yeah, it's a bit. I set it up as a school, right? I set it up as a school, and everybody can be part of it, and everybody can stop when they want. There's no an obligation, right? So it's very much because what is really. I'm going to answer the question, but what's really infinity alignment, right? Infinity alignment, it's a technique which is open your awareness, right? It's a bit, I always compare infinity alignment when you're walking on a mountain, right? If you walk all the time on the same path, you will have always the same picture. And you're not going to discover, you always see the little flower which are on the side and the same stone. So infinity alignment, it's about be curious, be faithful with yourself and with the people you're working with. Ready to listen what the people have to say. And going outside the path, going to discovering, going to see what this nature got to offer to you. you will discover a different flower, you will discover different tree, different essences, right? And that's what it's about. It's about being curious and be not stuck on something. It's about really discovering the person. What's happening really with this person? What can I do? And it's an incredible thing because it really starts, infinity it really starts, and that why it's quite an easy also technique to learn, because the way this technique starts, it's one day, through my meditation, I left my body and I was starting to wandering around, and I saw the human body where the aura was fading away, right? And it's very interesting because how the aura was fading away, there's another thing appear. What it appear 4 sphere of light on the right side of the body. This sphere of light are connected to the 4 main articulation, the 4 main joint of the body. So one is at the neck level, one is at the hips level, one is at the knee level, one is at the ankle level. And the information came with, it's to channel this sphere of light we got along the body. Everybody got it because it's to keep us in good shape. So everybody got this 4th sphere of light. So when you do the healing, you put the hand under the head, and you channeling the person is laying down, full clothes, and you channeling this sphere of light, and this sphere of light, this energy is going through the heart up and go through the brain, and it make him breathe between the 2 hemispheres. So you are connected, and after it go into the cosmic. So everything which is picked up, it goes. So you're filling up the body with powerful light, powerful energy, and you're doing the same at the hips level and the knee and the ankle. So when I did the workshop in Slovenia, or I do the workshop in England, what I do, I pair the people, and I say, you're working on each other. Doesn't matter if the person never heard about what it's healing, what is how to do it. And they realize, sorry, they realize they become a healer in 20 minutes.
Wow.
In 20 minutes, you can be with this technique. And the beauty of it, you are not, there's no point to learn, because we're working with the pore of the skin. So we got the card which you're opening the pore of the skin. So you let the prisoner, which it can be a blockage for ancestral blockage, it can be virus blockage, it can be an emotional blockage, but you really unblock it. So you got the card, for example, and you're scanning around, you find the point, and you start to go up and up and up. So this point here, this pore of the skin, which is very macroscopic, it start to opening. So when you arrive to the very much higher, like a divine body, this pore of the skin is like 1 meter. So you're extracting, and the body aligns itself automatically without any manipulation. And all your organs get aligned because everything it depends of the bone. Everything is hanging on the spine. So when everything get aligned, your organ change also position, and everything get on alignment. So Because when you touch the pore of the skin, you're touching the muscle system, the blood circulation system, the lymphatic system, the endocrine system, you just by playing with a card, right? That's the chakra card. So it's very much about, it's about the causal. You go all the way, what is the causal? What is the cause of it? So the study I done, the teaching is done on a weekend, one weekend, or some they are on 2 weekends, right? And after, when the student finished module 2, he got a certificate, and he is covered by the insurance. The insurance which is covered, so the person can be a therapist. And after they are the other module, the people they want to follow, so the space alignment, which is about very, very much about the house, the land, and offices, and so on. They also endocrine workshop. It's all very well organized and teach, right? So we're working with the miasma, which most of the therapy and medicine don't really mention miasma, which we need to work because they are always behind the chronic illness. So we have to clear that. Ancestry the same. So it's a big technique. It's an interesting teaching.
Wow. It sounds fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And I know that the details of that are on your website, and I'll just repeat it for anybody watching this just now. It's affinityalignment.com. I'm just fascinated by the life and your perspective on life and your perspective on people's health as well. I love that saying that you said a little while ago, that, you know, illness is the body's way of healing itself. I think that's a lovely way of putting that. Thank you for saying that, because that's something that I'll remember, you know, in the future for classes that I do. But certainly, I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'd love to have you come up to my area and give a talk on what you do and how you do it, and maybe do one of your workshops up here in Shropshire and the Midlands of the UK. So maybe we can have a little chat about that at another time. But just like to say thank you very much. Thank you for your time and for your wisdom and for your advice. Thank you.
It's likewise, because thank you very much to invite me, right? And yes, I would love to come in beautiful Scotland, discover beautiful Scotland. I went there once, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Blair Castle at the time.
Oh yes, yes, Blair Athol.
With a friend there, was, you know, and yeah, I would love to go to, you know, to be invited there, because I got a lot of things I can, you know, with electrosensitivity is something we haven't touched, but that is very deep. That's electrosensitivity. It's there's an education that we have to do, to dentist, to optician, because they need to understand glasses is not an anonymous thing. It can break the body in pieces. Any material we put in the mouth can be also part of the big illness. So we have to be aware of that, and people, they have to grow them. There's so many things. So yeah, thank you very much to invite me to your show, to your Zoom.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I'm very delighted, and yes, I would definitely come to see you when you think the time is right.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be fascinating.
I would love that.
Yeah, I look forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sending love from England and London.
Thank you.